Welcome to A Mason's Work, the podcast where we review Masonic symbols and illustrate how they can be used to solve problems in everyday life. With your host, Brian Mattox, a proud member of the Craftsman Online Media Network.
From a behavioral level, the plum is the ability to stay true regardless of the circumstances. Now, there is some important things to kind of get for lay of the land here. Let's start with the easy stuff. A plum, again, given the functional use of it, is to point to gravity, to point to center of the earth, right? That grounding is not to be confused with rigidity or stubbornness. If you've ever held a plumb line, and if you don't have one, that's fine. You can take any piece of string and put a weight on it for just a second, and you build your own just so you can get the physical sense of it. And I recommend you do that. You'll note that it moves, it swings, it has a tendency based on how you move to kind of move in an equal and opposite direction. In a lot of cases, it's a very dynamic kind of thing, even though, ironically, it always points to the center of the earth. In a lot of ways, it's like just like a compass, right? If you take a magnetic compass, if you've from your scouting days or what have you, if you have those, you can put that in your hand, and that little magnetic needle in there tends to wobble and move around. It will eventually come to rest and point to a direction. Plumb's the same thing. It's a dynamic kind of thing. It will move a little bit, and eventually, if you're still enough, it will stop. It'll stop moving and point to ground. And in that behavior, in many ways, is all the instruction you need. In the fact that if you stop moving, it stops moving and points to ground. That's an instructive meditation in and of itself. When we look at plumb, though, as well, we want to understand what it means internally, right? So we can look at our own behavior and say, hey, I am doing X or Y or Z, whatever those are. Is my behavior in alignment with a grounded behavior? Am I using the behavior the way it's the outcome that I'm trying to get to? Is it the right behavior for that outcome? Is it the true way to go about solving the problem in a right way, in a moral way, in a way that makes sense, in a way that doesn't hurt people? Whatever your grounding is, and that's usually grounded in values, it's grounded in beliefs, it's grounded in religion, whatever take you have on that, right? Whatever is grounding your behaviors, you should occasionally take inventory of your behavior and evaluate it for its ability to help you in a grounded way. Is the behavior I'm undertaking pulling me off of that truth? So this happens a lot with behaviors that maybe are addictive, for example. So your abuse of food or substances or chemicals or any of the kind of media, whatever those abuses might be, put them right down the list. And is this behavior helping me accomplish my objectives? Is this behavior true to who I am as a person? Is this behavior the kind of thing that's going to align to who I am as a person? Now, I want to be clear here. The role of the square is to determine if the behavior is going to deliver the objective, right? So the square is all about testing it for essentially fitness for purpose. The plumb is about centering your behavior and yourself and your beliefs and all of that kind of stuff. Fitness for purpose ideally is, again, a different tool, but At the same time, if you're undertaking a set of behaviors that isn't true to who you are and is delivering an outcome you don't want, you're operating out of Plumb. I'll give you a personal example. For me, approval-seeking behavior in a lot of cases, wanting other people to kind of like me and like who I am, oftentimes actually pulls me off of my true self and my true work. And if I don't figure out how to rein that in, I am going to be operating out of Plumb. It doesn't mean that the behavior itself is bad. It means that relative to who I am as a person and what my objectives are and what my beliefs and behaviors or my goals are, it means that behavior isn't serving. So, a lot of the things you'll come to find out, particularly when you start sitting with the Plumb, is that a lot of the behaviors you have may be pro-social. They may be generally good behaviors, moral behaviors, but they are being used in a way that is not productive. They're being used in a way that's out of Plumb with kind of the design intent, with what you're trying to do, with where you're headed, where you need to go, and what your objectives are. And so sitting with the Plumb should help you sort of make some connections there. And as you go through that sort of behavioral inventory, maybe move some behaviors in and out, or more aligned or less aligned with the Plumb.
The views represented in this podcast are those of the speaker alone and are not representative of any grand or subordinate lodge.
Hi, Brian here. I wanted to thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have any suggestions or guidance for further episodes you'd like to see or hear, whatever the case may be, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at amasonswork.com, and we will try and incorporate your suggestions into a future recording. Thanks.
Freemasonry teaches us that the true work is within, a lifelong journey of reflection, discipline, and discovery. At A Mason's Work, we help Masons bring out their best selves through meaningful self-inquiry and symbolic practice. From personal reflection to lodge engagement, we offer tools that turn symbols into action. Visit us at amasonswork.com. The work is within. The time is now.